The water. Shalom.
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 Shalom, brothers and
Thank
sisters.
you.
Yes, this is
Praises
the day that Yahuwah
has
has made. Let's be glad
Shabbat
in
on
it.
the Shabbat.
That's right, brothers and sisters. All right, back once again, Glory Light Ministries. You can reach us by email, glorylight684@gmail. And, you know, if you like what we do, hit the like button and also subscribe and hit the bell and you get all the notifications.
Yes.
All right, so today we're going to touch another topic, and it's called the spirit of rejection. Here's the question. Is it a real thing? The spirit of rejection. Have you ever been rejected? Have you ever rejected someone? Or do you know someone that's been rejected? And, you know, you look around them and you wonder, well, why is this and why is that? So today we're going to break it down biblically, okay? All right, so as usual, let's get into our Shema. We're going to say the prayer, and then we're going to dive right in. Let's stretch our hands and ready to receive. Shema Yasharala Ahayam Alahaya Nawa Ahayam Akha. Hear, O Yashael, Yahuwah Eloheinu, Yahuwah is one. Abanawa, Shabbat Shemayim, Kodesh Haya Shemka, Ahaya Malakwaka, Taba'a, Ratazawanka, Haya Isha, Arataza, Kawa Haya Ba, Shemayim, Latan La Nawa, Lakam Ka Wayam, Wasalak Nawa, Chawaf Nawa, Kasalak Nawa, Chawaf Ya Nawa, Wala'a, Taba'ana Nawa, Banas Wayam. Abal, Hawasnawa, Manra, Kaya, Laka, Ha, Malakwaf, Waha Allah, Waha Tapalaf, La Alanyam, Aman. And so be it. So, the spirit of rejection. Let's get right into it because we got several examples. If you've been through it, the question is, how did you deal with it? And because you got rejected and that spirit was used by that other person to reject you, did you ever do it to someone else in return? Take it away, there, Sis Nabi.
Yeah, because that's a real strong spirit, the spirit of rejection. Because people feel like they don't value their self-worth. And so they often have low self-esteem, low thoughts about themselves because someone has made them feel that way. So rejection is a really, really strong spirit, and that's
and it's also used as witchcraft.
Oh yeah, definitely witchcraft.
As witchcraft,
it's associated with witchcraft.
Yeah,
because if you can get someone to, if you can reject someone, it's almost like you can take control of them, and you know, being able to control somebody, manipulate them in such a way is witchcraft. Is what it is.
It is.
So yeah, it's not a good thing to be feeling rejected or the spirit of rejection.
So, question once again, is it a real thing? All right, let's get into this thing, brothers and sisters. Once again, if you got any questions, any concerns, or if you want to, you know, share something with us, we can always be reached at our email at glorylight684@gmail.com. So now let's get on back up here to the top. I'm spoiling it.
Yeah. And if you have any prayer requests that you would like us to pray, I mean, we got some really good prayer reports, breakthroughs. So some people
we do.
got set free from some things. And so if you just need someone to stand in agreement to pray for you, if you're dealing with battling something, please, you know, go ahead and shoot us an email to let us know so that we can put you on our prayer list and continue to pray over those things so that you can get your deliverance, your healing, your blessings, or whatever you are in need of, you know, because prayer does changes things.
It does.
The Most High answers prayers.
Yes. If this wasn't personal, we would tell you the story. But anyways, it's a personal thing. And a lot of people, you know, they don't, you know, if we don't have their permission, we don't share those things, those testimonies.
Be there for them to share if they like to. That's their story. That's their testimony of their deliverance, their healing, their salvation. But we just want to let you know that we're here, we're available, and we're willing to pray for any of those that are in need of prayer. So please just hit us up and let us know, and we'll be sure to pray for you.
All right. And also, if there's any topics that you want to know about or you think we should want to do a Bible study about, hey, hit the comment section Or, like I said, go to the email, glorylight684@gmail.com. And if, you want to reach us one hand, Glory Light has a toll-free number as well. Through the email, I can provide that, and you can provide yours, and we can, we can contact one another like that. But anyway, today on this Shabbat, beautiful, by the way, the spirit of rejection, is it a real thing? Have you ever been rejected? Right? So let's get into the definition first of all. The spirit of rejection in the Greek 557 is often described as a demonic force that instills feelings of unworthiness and isolation. All right, H910, H909, impacting an individual's self-esteem and relationships. So now let's go back. Rejection in the Greek. Let's write these three down, if you will, in your notebook. Rejection. Let's get our notebook here. Write down G557 for rejection. And then for isolation, write down H910. And also H909. We're going to get a biblical understanding here. So once again, here it is. The spirit of rejection is often described as a demonic force, and that's exactly what it is, that instills feelings of unworthiness and isolation, impacting an individual's self-esteem and relationships. All right, let's get over here to the Strongs. And we're going to look these three up: isolation and rejection, according to the Strongs here. One moment. Let's get to the Strongs. Here we go. I'm going to take my time, brothers and sisters. Sorry about the
Bible study.
Yeah. Sorry about the video last week, the first part of the video you couldn't hear. That's me because I wasn't paying attention. I didn't hit the button. But anyway, pray for me that I get this right this time. So we have rejection. We're going in at G557. What does it mean? All right, let's listen up. Rejection.
Strong's G557. Apelegmas. Apelegmas.
Apelegmas. So censure, repudiation of a thing shown to be worthless. All right, this is not good, brothers and sisters. Not good at all. Once again, it's censure, repudiation of a thing shown to be worthless. And here's the word that we paying attention to: shown to be worthless. All right. So now let's go to the word isolation, because these are the enemy tactics. All right. Let's look at H910 first. 910. Okay. All right. Let's listen up to this word in the Hebrew.
Strong's H910. Badad. Badad.
Badad. So in the midst of this spirit operating called rejection, it has to isolate you. Isolation, withdrawal, separation, alone. As you can see, it has to get you alone, desolate, only, and solitary. This is how that spirit actually works. It has to isolate you from everyone else, because you cannot have an opportunity to listen to wisdom from someone who has one. So in order for this spirit to work, you can only listen to that voice that the person that the spirit of rejection is using, because that's how the manipulation starts, right? Let's get back to the commentary.
Which can be a form. When you isolate, you kind of listen to your inner thoughts.
Right.
And because it's distorted, because of where you at, it's always kind of more like negative.
Exactly.
It's devaluing your self-worth, make you feel worthless and unappreciative. And, it just gives you all of the negative things, negative thinking. You don't have no one when you isolate, there's no one to encourage you, to lift you up, you know, to say, hey, look, what are you talking about? That's not true. You're not, that's not true. So
Exactly.
you don't have any confrontation, you don't know conversations with no one to tell you that what you're feeling and thinking is not true.
And it's not of Yahuwah.
Right. So you don't have that like Elder Suffer here said, the spirit of wisdom. You wouldn't have that there, because wisdom leaves you when you're not calling upon her. She'll leave. She said the Bible clearly tells us that anyone who lacks wisdom ask, and he would freely give it to us, or release wisdom unto us. So it's something that you have to require of, ask, because the Bible tells us about asking, knocking, seeking. See, these things we have to do. So there's action. Action has to be taken. And without that knowledge of action need to be taken and asking, then you would be, you know, at every beck and call of the enemy. So the enemy would use you being alone to deceive you and put these negative thoughts in your mind.
So basically, I'm going to get you to yourself, and I'm going to get you in a corner, and I'm going to, I'm going to beat in these negative thoughts, and I'm going to reject you and tell you that you're nothing and you're worthless. You don't mean a thing. Your sense of security and everything just falls. You know, the New Age movement may call it you may start vibrating at a lower vibration.
Low frequency.
Frequency or whatever they call
the
it.
New Age stuff.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
But you know,
low vibrating.
Right. But anyways, the spirit of rejection is something else. And you know, men and women use this spirit. It doesn't matter who it is. If your temple is available, it's going to use you. So the question is it a real thing? So we looked up rejection. We looked up isolation, alone. Rejection, putignation of feeling worthless. Right? So now, the second one is H909. We didn't get a chance to look at that one, did we?
No, we didn't.
All right, so let's get back over here because we don't want to skip nothing. H909. Let me take my time here. Hang on. H909. Let's look at that one so we don't miss nothing here. H909. I think we did look at that. No, we didn't? All right, here we go. So let's listen up to this one.
What is that one?
Isolation.
Isolation as well.
Strong's H909. Badad. Badad.
All right, badad. To withdraw, be separate, be isolated. Okay? And then to divide, for example, reflexively, be solitary, alone. Pretty much the same thing. So this is how it starts. So say you're in a relationship with someone and you feel like they're isolating you from your family, from your mother, from your father, from your sisters, from your brothers. And it's all about, boom, this person, and you're only hearing this one side. So now if you try to leave, or you try to have a mind of your own, or you try to, you know, do things for the Most High, and that person is not led by the Spirit of the Most High, then that's how, then the negative comments that start coming in. Well, you can't do this. You're not that. You're worthless. You can't have nobody but me. You know, well, you know you're getting older. Who's going to love you? Da, 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 da. That's when that spirit of rejection start creeping in. Thinking that it's going to draw that person closer. And it's the spirit of wickedness is what it is. All the way. So now that we got both of them, we got H909 and H910. So both of them pretty much say the same thing, alone.
And withdraw from others.
And withdraw from others. So right here, right to last, impacting an individual's self-esteem and relationships. The spirit of rejection is characterized as an oppressive force.
Oppressive.
See, there's 3 parts. Can you tell them once again? That's just Nabi.
Okay, so sometimes you go through what the one part is depression.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that'll hit you hard. And then you go through, after you a strong oppression, then comes depression,
Mm-hmm.
which is even stronger. And then final stage, when you don't come out of the depression, oppression is final stage is possession.
You see?
So that's where the ultimate state.
So reading this again, the spirit of rejection is characterized as an oppressive force, not a possessive force, but an oppressive force. So it's right there in the middle that seeks to demean and isolate, as that word again, individuals by whispering lies about their worth and acceptance. It often manifests through feelings of abandonment, unworthlessness, and a deep-rooted belief that one is unwanted or unloved. Now, it's quite a few people that may scan across this video today may have felt this way, unwanted or unloved. Some individuals bounce back from this thing. Some are still there, right? This spirit can lead to emotional distress, self-pity, and a cycle of seeking approval from others. This spirit seeks to disconnect individuals from their true identity in Yahushua and hinder them from experiencing the fullness of Yah's love and acceptance. So, moving forward, let's take a look at a few of the nature and causes of rejection. I think we pulled this up by David Prince. We're going to listen to a little bit of it because some of the things that he said, he makes some real good points here. So let's listen up.
This week, I'm going to be speaking about what I believe to be the deepest wound that the human spirit ever has to endure, the wound of rejection. I'm going to share with you the good news that this wound can be healed. Probably I'd better begin with some kind of a definition. What do I mean by rejection? I'm talking about something in the emotions and in the heart, an attitude, a kind of relationship, or perhaps a failure to relate. One of the best ways to understand the meaning of words.
And brothers and sisters, the best way to break down this Bible study is with one of these, a pen and a pad. I support ministries that teach the truth. And right here, David Prince, he's breaking it down to a point to where I'm going to concur a little bit later on, a little bit deeper, but we're not going to watch the whole thing. But I want you to listen to a couple of key points, and we're going to pull them out in just a second. Let's continue.
Word is to consider what its opposites are. Rejection has one obvious, specific opposite, and that is acceptance. So you could define rejection that way, as the opposite of acceptance. Or you could choose a number of synonyms, a number of different words or phrases with similar meaning. And perhaps some of the commonest and most obvious would be these: the feeling of being unwanted, excluded, worthless, not really belonging, somehow on the outside, looking in, but never knowing how to get on the inside. That's the kind of attitude, the kind of inner experience and feeling that I have in mind. And in my years of experience in the ministry, I've discovered that this is probably the most common and the deepest wound that human hearts experience. Particularly in our contemporary American culture, there are uncounted millions of people who have this problem of rejection. And doubtless, there are many who hear this message who will begin to identify their problem. Let me say one thing. The best way to face the problem is to recognize it. If you refuse to face it, you can never solve it. But if you face it...
Perfect example. In the introduction, the question was, have you been rejected or have you used the spirit of rejection on someone? And then the next question is, are you still wounded from the spirit of rejection?
Mm-hmm.
What do we do? Biblically, from the Bible, we're not the only ones. I've been through it.
Yeah.
I have.
Mhm.
I've suffered with it.
Experience. I have.
Yeah.
Experience is the best teacher of, rejection. It's a testimony. When you
It
come
is.
out, it's the Bible. I know I've read it. It says those that overcomers. It's such
Mhm.
thing as overcoming something. Because it's very important that you go through some fires and floods and valleys and peaks and lions dens and all
But
of
what did
these
we learn?
things,
Right.
so that you can have experience, so that you can give testimony to help others who may be going through and they don't have no one else. They feel alone, isolated, that they're the only ones that's going through
That's
or
right.
have been through. So yeah, it's good. It's a good testimony,
Right.
But once you come out, and you have to recognize, like Brother Prince here says,
Derek Prince.
Derek
Mhm.
Prince here says, once you recognize it, then that's the first step in
Of dealing
combating
with
it.
it. Exactly.
To combat it.
All right. So let's listen up a little bit more. I'm gonna stop it short, but as he tell about it, that feeling of unwantedness, unloved. So if you
Worthlessness.
trying to figure out why is they talking to me like this and treating me like this? Well, now you know it's a spirit,
Mhm.
and it's a demonic force on top of that. Let's listen up.
It and accept God's remedy, you can solve this problem. I've dealt with many, many people who have successfully overcome the problem of rejection, and you can be one of those people. In the prophet Isaiah, there's a very vivid picture of what rejection's really like.
Mhm.
The Lord is speaking to his people Israel, but he's speaking to them in the terms of being their husband. And he addresses them as a wife who's been rejected by her husband, a situation which is familiar, distressingly familiar, to millions of women today. This is what the Lord says, Isaiah 54, verses 4 through 6.
Mhm.
Do not be afraid, you will not suffer shame. Do not fear disgrace, you will not be humiliated. You will forget the shame of your youth,
Mhm.
and remember no more the reproach of your widowhood. For your Maker is your husband, the Lord Almighty is his name. The Holy One of Israel is your Redeemer. He is called the God of all the earth.
Mhm.
The Lord will call you back, as if you were a wife deserted and distressed in spirit, a wife who married young, only to be rejected, says your God. The picture comes to its climax there in that last verse. The picture of a wife deserted, distressed in spirit, a wife who married young only to be rejected. Sometimes it's the other way around. Sometimes it's the wife who rejects the husband. And though we regard men as somehow being stronger than women, I know from many, many cases I've dealt with that a man who feels rejected by his wife can suffer inexpressible agonies. I was speaking to such a man, and he laid bare his heart to me, and I realized the deep inner hurt that he was experiencing. In some ways, perhaps it's worse for a man to experience that kind of hurt because being a man, he feels ashamed of it. This vivid picture in Isaiah picks out two things that are commonly associated with rejection. The Lord says through Isaiah, you will not suffer shame, you will not be humiliated. Those are two things that commonly go, especially with marital rejection, shame and humiliation.
Right there is where we stop.
Mhm.
So, as you can see,
Mhm.
now he's going to go into a part about the marriages. This spirit does not care who it uses at all. You see what I mean? At all. It could use the husband, the wife, a friend, a family, a stranger, anything, a girlfriend, a boyfriend,
Mhm.
a auntie, or uncle, a brother, or sister.
Doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. And to some people may just stroll by this Bible study. But as I say, Glory Light, we're going to give out the meat. No more milk sipping around here. We don't have the time. Okay? These things has to be broken down to the point that where we eating a full meal by the time we get to the conclusion.
Mm-hmm.
The enemy's not playing.
Mm-mm.
And any foothold he can get,
He's going to utilize it.
he's going to utilize it, brothers and sisters. So now, I found this out here too. This spirit of rejection, a.k.a. falls up under the same thing, witchcraft. So I found this story, a young lady over in Africa. Listen to this. It's just a couple of minutes. Check this out. Let me pull it up here. Did I get it? Yep. All right. Hang on one second. Let me share it with you. I'm going to take my time to make sure I get it right.
Those 3 things that get you to a deeper state of rejection. Once you get that spirit of rejection, you start going to isolation. Isolation causes you to be oppressed. And then then you go into depression. You go into depression first, actually. And then you oppress. That's even worse. Depression, yeah. Oppression, then possession. So
this right here piggybacks off of our Bible study last week, and I had no idea until just now. The untamable tongue. So in order to reject someone, mm-hmm. I mean, one of the true ways to reject them is to use this thing here.
Mm-hmm. And tell them that you tell them negative things, bad things about themselves.
That's right.
That's not helpful. It's harmful.
And it's also hatred and curses. So mm-hmm. Listen to this. You may have to read the closed caption down at the bottom, but listen to her story here.
Mm-hmm. So I was born in Machakos in a family where my parents were not born again. Completely, they were not born again. I woke up and I found my mom bringing some witches in our home. I don't know why. And sometimes she could go to them to seek maybe for solution in our marriage. And then I think in class 1, class 2, class 3, I was having these dreams every time at night. Ningeota nimepelekwa kwa maji mengi. And that time I got a spirit of fear. I didn't share with anyone. But every night I didn't want to go to sleep because I know I'll be taken to those things. But I can't remember exactly what I was going to do there. But ningejiona nimepelekwa kwa yale maji. And sometimes when I go to sleep, it is not even dream, it's like a vision. Unabebo unapelekwa. And that time, I realized that there were some guys who wanted to take advantage of me sexually, but it did not happen. And in class 4, class 5, I started to have some rejection in school, false accusations. Some teachers didn't like me. And then many times.
So let me just cut you briefly. So you've said when you were young, your mother used to bring witches to the house.
Yes.
So how did you know they were witches?
Si wanakuja kuganga.
Oh, they'll come and then do rituals inside the house.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Wale waganga.
So you were introduced to that very early in your life. Mm-hmm. Around what age?
I won't say I was introduced.
Yes.
I will say I was born in a family where there was no salvation. They didn't know God.
Okay.
Even if they knew God, they didn't know God is now. They were totally not born again. My dad was a drunkard. My mom was into those things. And I think she thought by that time, kuenda kwa hao watu atapata maybe solution in a marriage. So nikiwa hiyo, when I was in primary school, I was still young and naive. I didn't know anything, but I knew I am rejected. Though I did.
So as you can see, it started at an early age, but the doors were open because of her mother inviting the witches in. They did rituals in there. Mm-hmm. And here it is, this young girl, under the protection of her parents, her father, which is supposed to be the priest of the home, leader of the home. Hey, he's out, or gold got him. Mm-hmm. All right, he's a drunkard. So now she's under the authority of her mother. And to bring the father back in the home, so she subjects herself to witchcraft. And then that spirit of rejection, because I'm quite sure she was isolated and alone a lot of times.
Mm-hmm.
And this is what happens. Listen up.
Didn't know it was rejection. And ikafika muda, I have said, ikafika time now, ungepata wanaume, they lie to me, they deceive me, kuja kwa nyumba, vitu kama hizo. But God hakukubali ifanyike. No one me that time, but they tried. So in class 4 or class 5, ningeenda kulala, then I will wake up, kwa my breast, it's like someone was scratching me.
Mm-hmm.
Ama huku. And one day, it was day 24, I will never forget. I woke up in the morning and then it's like something walked on me, on my face. My mom told me it's a Nairobi fly. That time I agreed. But now I started to have low self-esteem. I was like, no one will accept me, no one will love me. But in class 7, I don't know what happened. My mom decided to give her life back again to Christ. So she took us to church with my younger sister. Tukafanyiwa toba. Now, then we gave our lives. We said, mimi nimeokoka, from today, our sins are forgiven. But here I gave my life to Christ without understanding. I just knew I am now born again. Now, the only sin I knew it was a sin, it was sex. Anything else, it was normal. And this time, in that church, we had a youth conference. We were going to do youth conference. And every pastor who came to that conference to preach, most of them, they were saying, you are a woman of God. And I was still young. And by God's grace, I was given, God blessed me the spirit of speaking in tongues. And I received a spirit of intercessory. But without understanding. I didn't have anyone to mentor me or to teach me these things. So because I had this spirit of fear and this issue of being taken to the waters, I never shared with anyone that time. I still had fears. I could not pray in tongues in front of people. It was in me. I was doing it alone. And I was praying seriously, but without understanding.
Wow.
In class 8, something happened. And my mom, vile alitulea kwa njia mzuri. I will never say that I was a bad girl. We were disciplined. My dad was very strict. So one day, hiyo muda in our school kwa tunanyoa nywele. Tukakuwa tumeambiwa, kesho come to school kama umenyoa. Nikafika shule and I remembered tunafaa kunyoa. So I went to the market to cut my hair. So when I came back, I found the head teacher of that school has arrived. So wakati wa parade, he called me with another lady and he cursed me. He said, akanipea karatasi na akapea that lady kiberiti, tukawakisha ile karatasi, ikachomeka. So he said, vile hii karatasi imeisha, hivyo ndivyo maisha yako itaisha. I didn't understand spiritually, but I felt embarrassed. I felt so bad. I shared with my mom. She told me, don't tell your dad. Na hiyo story ikaisha hivyo. So in class 8, it was hatred from teachers, gossip, children. I was just there.
So now this story, brothers and sisters, is something else. Let me get out of this one here. This story right here, brothers and sisters, her story is real. The spirit of rejection rose with legions of spirits, legions of demons, fear, lust of the eye. I mean, you name it, all of it.
You name it.
You see, and it entered her at a young age, and it made her what? Promiscuous at the same time. It's so much of the spirit realm that people really don't take the time to understand. You have to know how the enemy moves, brothers and sisters. If you know, okay, once you start eating of the meat, you're going to understand that it's certain people that you cannot be around because you know this is what they use, the spirit of rejection and all his friends, to manipulate you to do what they need you to do. So you have to be wise enough to separate yourself. Now, at this point, this young lady, she didn't have a choice. It started younger because her
Mhm.
mother opened up these doorways
Mhm.
via witchcraft and, conjuring spells and stuff like this to bring her husband back home instead of praying and fasting and asking the Most High to change him. Once he was a changed man, I'm sure he would have came back to his family.
Mhm.
But as long as he's under that controlled spirit of our goal,
Mhm.
it's never going to happen. Go ahead, sister.
And I think a lot of times people go into using witchcraft because they are bewitched. They have been rejected and
Yeah.
they have low self-esteem and they don't have faith enough to believe. They want things to happen more quickly.
Right.
It's their way or no way. It's not God's way. It's not the Most High's way. So they feel that the Most High way is timely. It takes longer for them to receive whatever they're in need of at the time. They impatient. So a lot of other spirits control them in a way that they think that they need to return to something more quicker. They think witchcraft works faster than the spirit
Then
of
the
the
hand
Most
of the
High.
Most High. Exactly.
And it's such a deception,
Man.
because he's all knowing and all powerful. And he knows what the right time to strike. He knows when. See, he's perfect. But we are so imperfect that we're impatient and we can't wait. We can't wait on the Most High. We just get so impatient. We got to have microwavable blessings,
Yeah.
microwavable things to happen quickly without delay.
Yeah.
And I find myself at times, I used to pray that prayer, Father Yahuwah, when I was so desperate
Quickly.
to get
That was your word.
something done, I would say quickly, without
Mhm.
delay, like I'm giving him orders,
Right.
without delay, as if I can, tell him to rush it, hurry up and bless me, hurry up and do this. When he's perfect and he knows all things, he knows perfect timing and all. So once you pray fervently unto the Most High with the expectation of giving it to him and let him make the decision when it's supposed to be done. His thoughts and ways are so much higher than ours. So when we get that understanding, deep, heartfelt understanding, not just head knowledge, but heart knowledge, we can see things happening a lot quicker than we even imagine.
Right.
We even imagine.
So it's just better to let go
and let him.
and let y'all.
Mm-hmm.
So much simpler.
Don't seek after other help.
Right.
Because your help's supposed to come from your help comes from the hills of the Most High.
Mm-hmm.
You look to the hills, which cometh your help cometh from him, not from sorcery, witchcraft, or any other source of power. Right. Because it's a deception and it's going to lead you astray.
Every time.
Every time.
Not one time.
Every time.
Every time and all the time.
Yeah.
All right. So now we're going to get into the next section here. We'll be trying to keep it under an hour and a half, brothers and sisters. But some of these Bible studies is just so good that, we have to take the time to share these things with you. So section number 2, we're going to look at the 10 fruits of a spirit of rejection at work in your life.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, hey, back this up. We're going to go through the 10. Then we're going to give some examples. And then we're going to shoot down the conclusion. All right. So number 1, you find yourself comparing your circumstances or situations with others, and you never seem to measure up. Is that a good one? Number 2, you feel like you missed out on life's opportunities, and now it's too late. Have you ever said that? Number 3, no amount of encouragement is enough to convince you of your worth. Number 4, you feel rejected if you are not greeted or acknowledged by leadership. You see, that's how you want to be loved by, hey, you see me.
Attention.
So when you're seeking that attention, because you've went through this spirit of rejection, don't reject me. I'm right here. Number 5, you constantly seek the approval of others and suffer from pleasing people. You're a people pleaser. Number 6, you are easily offended. I'm going to say that again. You are easily offended or embarrassed from discipline or correction. Number 7, you're always trying to prove yourself in public. Number 8, you think you can do a better job than the current leader or teacher if you are given the opportunity. So basically, you're always finding fault. Number 9, you feel like you are on the outside looking in, doing interactions with people. And last but not least, number 10, you believe no one understands you or what you are going through. So here are the 10. So you ask yourself, am I under a spirit of rejection due to these fruits? 1 through 10. Now I can read them again if you like. You find yourself comparing circumstances or situations with others and you never seem to measure up. You feel like you missed out on life's opportunities and now it's too late. No amount of encouragement is enough to convince you of your worth. You feel rejected if you are not greeted or acknowledged by leadership. You constantly seek the approval of others and suffer from pleasing people.
Mm-hmm.
You are easily offended or embarrassed by discipline or correction.
Mm-hmm.
You are always trying to prove yourself in public. You think you can do a better job than the current leader or teacher if you're given the opportunity. And then you feel like you are on the outside looking in, doing interactions with people. And number 10, you believe no one understands you or what you are going through. These are the fruits of the spirit of rejection. And this is a demonic force that's giving you these thoughts, that's telling you, hey, you ain't going to understand. You ain't never been through this. 99% of the time, a person have. This is why we have to stay in the word to combat these demonic forces.
Mm-hmm.
You may be a home alone. You may be a single individual, whether male or female. And yeah, when you get off work from the interactions of others on your job site, you come home, and that's when that spirit takes its toll because there's no one else. You may have a dog or a cat or whatever, but it doesn't talk. So now here's this spirit opportunity to just
Just beat you down
through your thoughts and whispering in your ear. See, the enemy come to kill,
to steal,
and destroy and
destroy.
steal. You see?
Mm-hmm.
And he roams around like a lion, seeing who he can devour. So that alone time, aka that isolation time, brothers and sisters, the Ruach's about to take over here in a minute. That isolation time, you're never alone, but you gotta know how to access Yahuwah. You can do it with that room, close the door, he'll meet you there, or you could do it on your couch, even with the news going in the background lightly, while you in the word. And he'll speak to you through the word. You see?
And you know what? Not to cut you off, Brother Elder Safar, but I was just thinking, like that spirit of fear that comes when you're being rejected. A lot of times when you recognize that fear that comes, the Bible tells us, the word of Yah tells us that he's not giving us the spirit of fear, but of love and power and of a sound mind.
That's right.
And the main thing is when you go into isolation, you're kind of like fearful or things, you have bad dreams or you have encounters, spiritual encounters and things of that nature. You could really examine yourself. That's the time to reflect. That's the time to do it. Yeah. That would be the time when that spirit of fear comes. This is how you do it. You combat the spirit of fear. You know that the Most High is not a fear. You know that he does not operate and give us, we don't operate in the spirit of fear when he's near us and when he's with us, working through us and for us. So he's not giving us that spirit. So it doesn't come from the Most High. So that in itself lets you know, something here is not right because I'm feeling fearful. And that's the spirit, because the Bible tells us it is a spirit of fear. So that's not the spirit of the Most High, because he does not give us that spirit. So once you feel that spirit, that's your first sign to know that something is not quite right here. So then, therefore, you need to go into examination so that you can figure this thing out. So you can then you can think clearly, because now the spirit of wisdom is going to come and sit next to you.
Next to you, exactly.
Because you have figured the thing out. You have decided that you're going to reject the spirit of fear. And you're going to examine yourselves like the Most High tells us to do in His Word. He said, examine your own selves.
Mm-hmm.
Examine yourselves.
Mm-hmm.
So we're to examine ourselves and see what's going on inside of us. Just like these 10 points that's a fruit of the spirit of rejection.
Mm-hmm.
If you were to examine yourself, you'll say, wow, do I do that? Am I thinking that I'm better than someone else? Do I think I need the attention of others and approvals of others? Am I easily offended?
Right.
Yeah, I do that. Do I try to prove myself to others? Why I gotta go? Why do I feel that no one understands me? And why am I seeking out fault in everybody else when you got to examine the situation and yourself.
Right.
And when you begin to self-reflect and self-examine yourself, you'll realize, okay, I see what's going on now. That's when your eyes is open into the truth.
Exactly. So you can go back and say, okay, I remember, okay, this is the person, the spirit that used this person that tried that rejection on me.
Mm-hmm.
So now that you recognize it,
Mm-hmm.
now you know how to combat it.
That's right.
I like to rush this Bible study
I know,
and
but
get
it's
it
so
under an
hard
hour
to-
and a half,
it's
but
so hard to rush it.
it's hard to
There's
do
so
it,
much
brothers and sisters.
information that has to get out
We gotta.
because time is winding up, and we got to get our position ourselves just like an army. We're the army. We're in the army of the Most High,
and
we got to position ourselves so that we can be ready, trained, and put on the whole armor so that we can combat these situations, these spirits when they come for us. We'll know exactly what they are and what they're trying to accomplish, and we'll know how to reject them.
Mm-hmm.
We can resist them and reject those things because we can self-reflect. We can go back and examine the situation. And we'll say, well, I'm feeling fear.
Mm-hmm.
They said, well, why am I feeling fear? It doesn't come from the Most High because He said He has not given us the spirit of fear.
Mm-hmm.
So that has to be an evil spirit.
So they all run together.
Mm-hmm.
So once you recognize that spirit of rejection, you don't even have to get down to who you think the person by name who did it.
No.
You know that spirit was used. So when you combat that and deal with that spirit of rejection, all the buddies that came with him is going to leave with him.
They got to go.
Because through the word, you're going to sweep your temple and you're going to replace rejection and fear and all that came with it. I don't know exactly all of them. And you're going to replace it with righteousness and the word.
That's right.
The exact opposite of darkness is light.
And
you
fear is boldness and
That's right.
bravery.
That's right.
And faith.
That's right. I'll give you a story. Brothers and sisters, maybe 20-some years ago, when I first came into the truth, and I had a lot of time on my hands, so all I could do was read. I plastered scriptures on the wall. I mean, Sister Nabi thought I was going crazy. I had strippers all over the wall, all over the ceiling.
Everywhere.
Yeah, I had, the 7 seals, 7 signs. My whole day I spent studying until I'm there alone. The enemy tried to isolate me, and I got the spirit of fear. I'm finding myself looking behind myself at home, and it got so bad that even when Sister Nabi would work, I wouldn't go in the house. I would stay outside all day. Because you know why? All right, I'm starting to read. I'm starting to get into the truth, and I'm feeding my spirit man on a daily basis. So now here comes the enemy. I'm going to give him that fear. I'm going to give him those dreams. I'm gonna show him, these demons and what's going on with this and what's going on with that. And when he wake up, he ain't going to open that Bible no more. Until I started repeating the word back to my thoughts, back to my inner man, my spirit man. For Yahuwah has not given me the spirit of fear, but of love, power, and of sound mind. After I started repeating back with this untamed tongue, back to where these demons in the spirit man can hear it, it stopped.
He couldn't use that tactic anymore.
Couldn't use that anymore. So whether, even when I was younger, the spirit of rejection probably came on me then, it fell off that day. Unfortunately, I did not have that ministry or that guy to sit under. to teach this and that. You know, I went to different schools and got different certificates and stuff like that. But the Ruach HaKodesh took me by the hand.
Mhm.
Come on, Sapphire. I'm going to take you over here today. I'm going to take you over here today. I'm going to take you over here today.
Mhm.
Hey, sit down. I got something I got to show you. So we're not just teaching this. We've been through this, brothers and sisters.
Mhm.
Once again, like I said, if you got any questions, glorylight684@gmail.com.
Glad to
And
take
if we get an email, I
prayers
would
in.
know that this one person or two people that made it through 50 minutes and 13 seconds, you halfway through,
Mhm.
and it's almost done.
Yeah.
This is a very serious matter because the spirit of rejection comes with all different types of feeling: anger,
Mhm.
malice,
Mhm.
promiscuousness, covetousness, a lot,
Jealousy,
jealousy,
Uh-huh.
bitterness.
bitterness, you name it. Finding fault and
Yeah,
seeking approval and attention, of
Yeah.
course, self-pity, all of that. It's like a legion. Like
Yeah.
the man that was possessed with a whole bunch of legions. I'm sure he went through
and we got them
isolation,
today as an
rejection.
example.
He was probably
So
rejected.
was.
Went through isolation because he
Yep.
was out there by himself
By
in the
himself.
graveyard, and them enemies worked on him so well that all kind of spirits came with isolation
I'm
and
sure.
rejection. Because isolation came with rejection, and then all those other spirits came, and
It
he
did.
started just feeling at his lowest, and he self afflicting himself and all
Until
of
he
that.
was possessed.
Until he was just possessed by the enemy, totally possessed. And that was so many spirits in him. I think the Bible mentions something about anywhere but legions, meaning 6,000 to 7,000
Ooh,
of demons.
that's a lot.
It's quite a bit. That's not like 10. That's like thousands.
Yeah.
So it was so many, and Christ Yahushua came and delivered him and freed him from it.
All of
those
them.
spirits, all of them.
Yep.
Had to go. Not one, not just two, not all of them, because they came in a package. You one come, the rest of come on. You can come too. So when they got cast out, they all had to go. They were finalized. They
Yep.
were gone. They
Gone.
had to go. So
They're
that's
gone.
what happens. So once you get into the word, you know the truth, you start counting on the truth, you believe in the truth, walk in truth, acknowledge truth. This is what sets you free. This is the deliverance power of the Most High. It's through his Ruach, the Holy
Yep.
Spirit in his word. He gave us his word. And he's not man that he should lie. His word is infallible. It is true. And it will cause one to be set free, one to be healed, one to be delivered, one to be saved. All of those things.
Mhm.
The word cleanses. In the beginning was the word. The word was with God. The word was Yah. That's what
Absolutely.
it was. So we need the word. This is what the enemy don't want us to get into. I mean, any way we
And
can
that's
get
for
away
sure.
from the word,
That's for sure.
he wants to use distractions.
Yeah.
I don't care what it is. He try to keep us out of the word. That's why when you get to read that word, you're going to have bad dreams. You know,
You're gonna get sleepy.
You're going to get sleepy. You notice apathy, the spirit of sleepiness and apathy is going to come. Then some distraction is going to come. And then the spirit of fear even come.
Mhm.
So you just stick with it. Just be an overcomer.
Yeah, absolutely. We have some examples today. So I hope you took the time to write down those 10 fruits of the spirit of rejection, because you can actually take those and ask yourself, am I going through any of those? So now let's get into these rejections here. I mean, these examples here. We got a couple more minutes here. All right. So the first one, of course, Christ himself, Yahushua, the Mashiach. He's rejected by his own people. All right. So first one, we're going to turn to Luke chapter 4.
Okay.
All right. We're not going to read it all. We're going to stop 10 minutes in. So let me get it queued up, and that'll give you guys a chance to turn to Luke chapter 4. One moment. Here we go. Luke chapter 4, and this is Christ being rejected here. God. All right, everybody ready? Luke chapter 4. Let me know when you get there, Sister
I'm
Navi.
here.
Christ was rejected by his own.
Mm-hmm.
Luke chapter 4 here.
Right here.
Yep, take your time.
All right.
We got time. All right. Chapter 4.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
All right. Chapter 4 and verse 1. Everybody ready? Here we go.
Jesus, full of the Holy Spirit, left the Jordan and was led by the Spirit into the wilderness, where for 40 days he was tempted by the devil. He ate nothing during those days, and at the end of them he was hungry. The devil said to him,
"If you are the Son of God, tell this stone to become bread."
Jesus answered,
"It is written, people do not live on bread alone."
The devil led him up to a high place and showed him in an instant all the kingdoms of the world. And he said to him,
"I will give you all their authority and splendor. It has been given to me, and I can give it to anyone I want to. If you worship me, it will all be yours."
Jesus answered,
"It is written, worship the Lord your God and serve him only."
The devil led him to Jerusalem and had him stand on the highest point of the temple.
"If you are the Son of God,"
he said,
"throw yourself down from here, for it is written, he will command his angels concerning you to guard you carefully. They will lift you up in their hands so that you will not strike your foot against a stone."
Jesus answered,
"It is said, do not put the Lord your God to the test."
When the devil had finished all this tempting, he left him until an opportune time.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus returned to Galilee in the power of the Spirit, and news about him
He
spread
repeated
through
the
the
word.
whole countryside. He was teaching in their synagogues, and everyone praised him. He went to Nazareth, where he had been brought up, and on the Sabbath day he went into the synagogue, as was his custom. He stood up to read, and the scroll of the prophet Isaiah was handed to him. Unrolling it, he found the place where it is written,
"The Spirit of the Lord is on me, because he has anointed me to proclaim good news to the poor. He has sent me to proclaim freedom for the prisoners and recovery of sight for the blind, to set the oppressed free, to proclaim the year of the Lord's favor."
Then he rolled up the scroll, gave it back to the attendant, and sat down. The eyes of everyone in the synagogue were fastened on him. He began by saying to them,
"Today, this scripture is fulfilled in your hearing."
All spoke well of him and were amazed at the gracious words that came from his lips.
"Isn't this Joseph's son?"
They asked. Jesus said to them,
"Surely you will quote this proverb to me, 'Physician, heal yourself,' and you will tell me, 'Do here in your hometown what we have heard that you did in Capernaum.'
He continued,
'Truly, I tell you, prophets are not accepted in their hometowns. I assure you that there were many widows in Israel in Elijah's time, when the sky was shut for 3.5 years, and there was a severe famine throughout the land. Yet Elijah was not sent to any of them, but to a widow in Zarephath in the region of Sidon. And there were many in Israel with leprosy in the time of Elisha the prophet, yet not one of them was cleansed, only Naaman the Syrian.'"
All the people in the synagogue were furious when they heard this. They got up, drove him out of the town, and took him to the brow of the hill on which the town was built in order to throw him off the cliff. But he walked right through the crowd and went on his way.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
So as you can see, Christ himself, brothers and sisters,
Mm-hmm.
was rejected.
Mm-hmm.
Rejected. Now, this is the thing that I don't understand. We was not around 2,500 years ago
When they was performing those great mighty miracles like that.
these people walked with the
Walked
Messiah.
with him, literally, in the flesh.
And, you know, I've seen some miracles, but not like that. But yet he was rejected by his own people.
Mm-hmm.
But what did Christ do? First of all, in Luke 4:1, hey, get thee behind me, Satan. This is what you do. You repeat the word to him. Back to that spirit of rejection. Hey, the Most High have not given me the spirit of fear, but love, power, and a sound mind. And then you can repeat some more. That goes along with the spirit of rejection. And he has to flee just like Satan did in the wilderness, in the desert. So what Christ did, he's rejected. He moved on. Don't let it stick. Let it bounce off you. And you move on. Don't let that spirit get a foothold in your temple to invite others, brothers and sisters. And the reason why we put this one first, because who are we? If Christ was rejected, we're going to go through some of the same things. Who are we? If the Messiah was rejected. Let's go to the next one. Anything you want to add there, Sister Nabi?
Yeah. And see, I noticed that in verse 18, it says he came. This is what he came to do. He has sent me to proclaim. This is what he said, the spirit of the Most High is upon me, because he has chosen me to bring good news to the poor.
Right.
He has sent me to proclaim liberty to the captives, and recovery of sight to the blind, and to set free the oppressed.
That's right.
And announce that the time has come when the Most High will save, when Christ Yahushua will save his people.
Exactly.
Because it just goes to show you, he said to set free the oppressed. See, those people that have been rejected, they went into the spirit of oppression, their possession, and then that's what he came to do.
That's right.
Yeah, he already foreknew that we were going to be battling these things. So he was a perfect example to come and be the one to set us all free. Anyone that goes to any of these sorts of things, being blind, being captive, being, oppressed by the enemy, he came for that very reason.
So this is why we read, that's why we read that, that word stands out, oppressed. Because that's what the spirit of rejection, that's how it started. It started oppressing you. Telling you things that are not true, feeding you lies, whispers, isolating you to a place to where you have no one to speak. Okay, if you don't have the energy or the strength to open the word or listen to the word, now you can't hear it from someone else.
Because the enemy was very trickery. You notice how the enemy was telling Christ the word. The Bible said, if you throw yourself over the cliff, basically commit suicide.
Right.
The angels will bear you up, lest you dash your foot against the stone, for it is written.
That's right.
And so if you're not really spirit led, and you're not, reading the word with the content of, with the Holy Spirit, the inspired Holy Spirit to teach you truth.
That's right.
You will believe the lie that the enemy, because it sounds good.
Sounds good.
I mean, what he said sounds scripture, don't it?
Yeah.
It's in there. But see, he's taking it out of content. And when you take that scripture out of content, look, you've been jumped off and kiss yourself. Just imagine. Unalive yourself. Take that back. Unalive yourself, because you could easily have listened to that word, because it's in the word what he said, but he's taking it out of content. So it's very important to know the word, be inspired by the Holy Spirit, the spirit of truth that will give you and lead and guide you to all truths. And when you follow that truth, you will not be deceived or misled. So that's very important. We're having a good spirit of discernment. So
we got another one that go along with Luke 4. Turn to Isaiah 53. Got another example here. Right. Isaiah 53. And we're going to read that one. Isaiah chapter 53.
Yeah, Christ read out of Isaiah with the scrolls. That's what he was reading out of.
Awake.
One moment. Isaiah 53. We're going to start him at 258.
I love this Bible. I'm going to give me another one, though, but I love this Bible. It's so torn up.
That Bible's going to be hard to get rid of.
I'm not going to get rid of it.
I'm afraid if you get a new one, you might not know how to find anything.
I can go right to Isaiah 53 because it's all torn up for me.
All right. Everybody ready? Isaiah 53. Here we go. It's another example. Let's listen.
For what they were not told, they will see. And what
One moment.
they have not heard, they will understand. Who has believed our message? And to whom has the arm of the Lord been revealed? He grew up before him like a tender shoot, and like a root out of dry ground. He had no beauty or majesty to attract us to him, nothing in his appearance that we should desire him. He was despised and rejected by others.
Listen, I'm going to start this over because this brought tears to my eyes when I read it. I read this 2 or 3 times, brothers and sisters. This is our Savior that stand in the gap, that sit on the right hand of the Father. And this is what he went through. Let me back it up. And let's start this again. 258. Right here. Listen to this. Let's start it again. Isaiah chapter 53.
Stand. Who has believed our message? And to whom has the arm of the Lord been revealed? He grew up before him like a tender shoot, and like a root out of dry ground. He had no beauty or majesty to attract us to him, nothing in his appearance that we should desire him. He was despised and rejected by others, a man of suffering and familiar with pain. Like one from whom people hide their faces, he was despised, and we held him in low esteem. Surely, he took up our pain and bore our suffering. Yet we considered him punished by God, stricken by him and afflicted. But he was pierced for our transgressions.
Ours.
He was crushed for our iniquities.
Ours.
The punishment that brought us peace was on him, and by his wounds we are healed. We all, like sheep, have gone astray. Each of us has turned to our own way, and the Lord has laid on him the iniquity of us all. He was oppressed and afflicted, yet he did not open his mouth. He was led like a lamb to the slaughter, and as a sheep before its shearers is silent, so he did not open his mouth. By oppression and judgment he was taken away. Yet who of his generation protested? For he was cut off from the land of the living. For the transgression of my people he was punished. He was assigned a grave with the wicked, and with the rich in his death, though he had done no violence, nor was any deceit in his mouth. Yet it was the Lord's will to crush him and cause him to suffer. And though the Lord makes his life an offering for sin, he will see his offspring and prolong his days, and the will of the Lord will prosper in his hand. After he has suffered, he will see the light of life and be satisfied. By his knowledge, my righteous servant will justify many, and he will bear their iniquities. Therefore I will give him a portion among the great, and he will divide the spoils with the strong, because he poured out his life unto death and was numbered with the transgressors. For he bore the sin of many and made intercession for the transgressors.
That's your Messiah.
That's your Messiah.
So, let me ask you a question. You feeling rejected? Like maybe you went through something? Are you sure? Brothers and sisters.
As you can see, look at all this, what the Most High had to go through.
That's Yahusha.
And can you imagine being able to suffer, bled, died? And at one point he felt rejected. Remember, he said on the cross, he said, Father, why have thou forsaken thee? Because he felt the very pain of rejection. He thought he had been, in his spirit, he felt low. And as if he had been isolated, alone on the cross, and rejected and abandoned by his father
and the people.
and the people, his people, who he did this for. I'm doing all this, going through all this agony, defeat, and pain, and suffering for the very people that I'm doing this for. They the one put me here, got me here.
But yet he said nothing.
But he said no word. He just knew that.
So
it was,
that alone should be encouraging
Mhm.
enough. I encourage you
been
to
through
read
nothing.
Isaiah 53, the whole thing.
Yeah, over and over again if you have to, so you can understand what we consider suffering, hardship, and pain, and rejection, and oppression, and all of those things. Christ went through so much more. It's a whole, look at that, whole big couple paragraphs worth. Okay?
Wow.
So therefore, we need to look to him. We see he was a perfect example of that we can overcome these things. And he, as you can see here in the word, he's seated at the right hand of the Father Almighty, Abba Yah, Yahuwah.
Get me John 1 and 11. We're going to break this down. Isaiah 53 prophesies that the Messiah would be despised and rejected by men.
Mm-hmm.
Specifically, his own people. In John 1 and 1 and 11, Yahushua came to his own, and his own did not receive him. Let's read it. John chapter 1, verse 11. Read.
Let's see. Am I in the right John?
John. Mm-hmm.
This is a John.
The real John. Just John, not First John, not Second John.
Okay.
John.
I should find it in my other Bible.
I got it here. Let me get it here real quick. 1 second. We want to read this precept because this right here speaks volumes.
Should be right after Luke.
Yeah, I got it right here. Verse 11 says,
okay, here it is.
You got it?
John.
Chapter 1 and 11. He's rejected by men and despised.
Mm-hmm.
Let's read it.
Okay, it says, he came to his own country, but his own people did not receive him.
You see?
Wow.
That's rejection. His rejection leads to his crucifixion. Yet it becomes the path to redemption for humanity. So if this hadn't happened, there would be no salvation. So if you went through a spirit of rejection period in your time and you grew stronger and it drove you through the word, then guess what? That was supposed to happen. So now if you run across this video and you see that rejected sign and you made it into this hour or you watched it all, you'll understand that, hey, you know what? Mm-hmm. Elder Sapphire, I'm going to read Isaiah 53 and I'm going to pick up my can. I'm going to stop kicking it because I haven't went through anything. Yahushua, the Mashiach, was despised by men, his own. So who am I? Right? That was the first example. Let me keep it moving here due to time constraint.
And I'm going to read going down to verse 12.
Go ahead.
And it says, I'm going to go back to 11. So he came to his own country, but his own people did not receive him.
Okay.
But then it goes on to say that some, however, did receive him and believed in him. Mm-hmm. So he gave them the right to become Yah's children. They did not become Yah's children by natural means, that is, by being born as the children of a human father. Yah himself was their father.
You see?
So they became
not a blood.
Not a blood. That's
they
right.
wasn't born.
They wasn't born.
Nor the will of the flesh. Nor the will of man, but of Yahuwah.
But of Yahuwah.
Wow.
That's transformation.
And you know what?
There.
These probably were Gentiles. Had enough sense to understand, wait a minute. I didn't heard about these miracles. I didn't seen what happened in Nazareth. I didn't seen what happened in Galilee, and I've been following and hearing about Yahushua. So, you know what? I need to get on board.
Get on board.
So the first example was Christ himself. Right? Second example, Joseph was rejected by his brothers We may know the story, but let's listen to it. Let's go to Genesis chapter 37, all the way back to the beginning. Now, I could imagine, now this very sad story, Genesis chapter 37. While you turn into it, let me get to it here real quick. Genesis chapter 37. Story of Joseph and his brothers. So let me get it pulled up. Genesis 37. One moment. Joseph and his brothers here. Genesis chapter 37, brothers and sisters. Let me know when y'all get there. Genesis chapter 37. Let's go back over here. I believe this one is already on there. Yep. All right, Genesis chapter 37, cue up 554. One moment. Joseph and his brothers.
They really did a number on him.
Yeah, but it worked out for his good.
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
Genesis chapter 37. Everybody ready? Here we go.
Jacob lived in the land where his father had stayed, the land of Canaan. This is the account of Jacob's family line. Joseph, a young man of 17, was tending the flocks with his brothers, the sons of Bilhah and the sons of Zilpah, his father's wives, and he brought their father a bad report about them. Now Israel loved Joseph more than any of his other sons, because he had been born to him in his old age, and he made a richly ornamented robe for him. When his brothers saw that their father loved him more than any of them, they hated him and could not speak a kind word to him. Joseph had a dream, and when he told it to his brothers, they hated him all the more. He said to them,
"Listen to this dream I had. We were binding sheaves of grain out in the field when suddenly my sheaf rose and stood upright, while your sheaves gathered round mine and bowed down to it."
His brothers said to him,
"Do you intend to reign over us? Will you actually rule us?"
And they hated him all the more because of his dream and what he had said. Then he had another dream, and he told it to his brothers.
"Listen,"
he said,
"I had another dream, and this time the sun and moon and 11 stars were bowing down to me."
When he told his father as well as his brothers, his father rebuked him and said,
"What is this dream you had? Will your mother and I and your brothers actually come and bow down to the ground before you?"
His brothers were jealous of him, but his father kept the matter in mind. Now his brothers had gone to graze their father's flocks near Shechem, and Israel said to Joseph,
"As you know, your brothers are grazing the flocks near Shechem. Come, I am going to send you to them."
"Very well,"
he replied. So he said to him,
"Go and see if all is well with your brothers and with the flocks, and bring word back to me."
Then he sent him off from the valley of Hebron. When Joseph arrived at Shechem, a man found him wandering around in the fields and asked him,
"What are you looking for?"
He replied,
"I'm looking for my brothers. Can you tell me where they are grazing their flocks?"
"They have moved on from here."
The man answered,
"I heard them say, 'Let's go to Dothan.'"
So Joseph went after his brothers and found them near Dothan. But they saw him in the distance, and before he reached them, they plotted to kill him.
"Here comes that dreamer,"
they said to each other.
"Come now, let's kill him and throw him into one of these cisterns and say that a ferocious animal devoured him.
Then we'll see what comes of his dreams."
When Reuben heard this, he tried to rescue him from their hands.
"Let's not take his life,"
he said.
"Don't shed any blood. Throw him into this cistern here in the wilderness, but don't lay a hand on him."
Reuben said this to rescue him from them and take him back to his father.
Wow.
So when Joseph came to his brothers, they stripped him of his robe, the richly ornamented robe he was wearing, and they took him and threw him into the cistern. The cistern was empty. There was no water in it. As they sat down to eat their meal, they looked up and saw a caravan of Ishmaelites coming from Gilead. Their camels were loaded with spices, balm, and myrrh, and they were on their way to take them down to Egypt. Judah said to his brothers,
"What will we gain if we kill our brother and cover up his blood? Come, let's sell him to the Ishmaelites and not lay our hands on him. After all, he is our brother, our own flesh and blood."
His brothers agreed. So when the Midianite merchants came by, his brothers pulled Joseph up out of the cistern and sold him for 20 shekels of silver to the Ishmaelites, who took him to Egypt. When Reuben returned to the cistern and saw that Joseph was not there, he tore his clothes. He went back to his brothers and said,
"The boy isn't there. Where can I turn now?"
Then they got Joseph's robe, slaughtered a goat, and dipped the robe in the blood. They took the ornamented robe back to their father and said,
"We found this. Examine it to see whether it is your son's robe."
He recognized it and said,
"It is my son's robe. Some ferocious animal has devoured him. Joseph has surely been torn to pieces."
Then Jacob tore his clothes, put on sackcloth, and mourned for his son many days. All his sons and daughters came to comfort him, but he refused to be comforted.
"No,
He said,
in mourning will I go down to the grave to my son."
So his father wept for him. Meanwhile, the Midianites sold Joseph in Egypt to Potiphar, one of Pharaoh's officials, the captain of the guard. At that time,
Hold right there.
Mm-hmm.
That's just awful.
Mm-hmm. Jealousy.
That's just, boy, they rejected him to the point to where, you know what? I can't stand you, little boy.
Mm-hmm.
You see? Spirit of hatred, jealousy.
Mm-hmm.
See how this rejection comes with legion. So now listen to this. Genesis 37, we're going to sum it up, tells how Joseph was hated by his brothers, thrown into a pit and sold into slavery. His rejection was rooted in envy and misunderstanding of his prophetic dreams. Yet Joseph's journey from betrayal to leadership in Egypt shows us how rejection can be set up for divine promotion. So now what I want you to do is read it a little bit further. Go ahead and read Genesis 38 and 39, 40, 41, and 42.
Mm-hmm.
And you'll see what happened to that promotion. It was a setup for the promotion. But right now, we're talking about the rejection. His brothers ripped his clothes off, the tunic off of him, put some blood on it, threw him in the cistern or the pit.
Or the well.
Wow.
Yeah. Just to prove that he was dead, they went through all that, tore the robe, to go back and report to the father he had been eaten by a lion or animal or something.
Wow.
They covered up everything. They were just so wicked, deceitful.
So
Their
you
own
know,
flesh and
hey,
blood.
but you know, you got some family members that just do that. This is what they do. This is what they do.
Unfortunately, there are people
Unfortunately.
that way.
So now, here's another story. Example number 3. I think we got about 4. Hang tight. We're almost done. Let's go and let's read about David being rejected by his family and Saul. Right? We know about this story, but let's read it. We're going to start in 1 Samuel chapter 16 first.
Mm-hmm.
Chapter 16, 17, 18, and a little bit of 19. It ain't going to take that long, brothers and sisters. Let's go to 1 Samuel chapter 16. 1 Samuel chapter 16. 1 Samuel chapter 16. All right, so now let me get it pulled up. We got this one, 17, 18, then a little bit of 19. So let's listen to this. Let's see how David was rejected. So let's go to 1 Samuel chapter 16. One moment. Let me take my time so that I won't leave nothing off, brothers and sisters. Here we go. Last week, I kind of messed up on the audio a little bit. 1 Samuel 16, going to be this one. Going to start him at 6:30. All right, we're there. All right, everybody there and ready? 1 Samuel chapter 16. Here we go.
The Lord said to Samuel,
How long will you mourn for Saul, since I have rejected him as king over Israel? Fill your horn with oil and be on your way. I am sending you to Jesse of Bethlehem. I have chosen one of his sons to be king.
But Samuel said,
How can I go? If Saul hears about it, he will kill me.
The Lord said,
Take a heifer with you and say, I have come to sacrifice to the Lord. Invite Jesse to the sacrifice, and I will show you what to do. You are to anoint for me the one I indicate.
Samuel did what the Lord said. When he arrived at Bethlehem, the elders of the town trembled when they met him. They asked,
Do you come in peace?
Samuel replied,
Yes, in peace. I have come to sacrifice to the Lord. Consecrate yourselves and come to the sacrifice with me.
Then he consecrated Jesse and his sons and invited them to the sacrifice. When they arrived, Samuel saw Eliab and thought,
Surely the Lord's anointed stands here before the Lord.
But the Lord said to Samuel,
Do not consider his appearance or his height, for I have rejected him. The Lord does not look at the things human beings look at. People look at the outward appearance, but the Lord looks at the heart.
Then Jesse called Abinadab and had him pass in front of Samuel. But Samuel said,
The Lord has not chosen this one either.
Jesse then had Shammah pass by. But Samuel said,
Nor has the Lord chosen this one.
Jesse had 7 of his sons pass before Samuel. But Samuel said to him,
The Lord has not chosen these.
So he asked Jesse,
Are these all the sons you have?
There is still the youngest.
Jesse answered,
He is tending the sheep.
Samuel said,
Send for him. We will not sit down until he arrives.
So he sent and had him brought in. He was glowing with health and had a fine appearance and handsome features. Then the Lord said,
Rise and anoint him. This is the one.
So Samuel took the horn of oil and anointed him in the presence of his brothers. And from that day on, the Spirit of the Lord came on David in power. Samuel then went to Ramah. Now the Spirit of the Lord had departed from Saul, and an evil spirit from the Lord tormented him. Saul's attendants said to him,
See, an evil spirit from God is tormenting you. Let our Lord command his servants here to search for someone who can play the lyre. He will play when the evil spirit from God comes on you, and you will feel better.
So Saul said to his attendants,
Find someone who plays well and bring him to me.
One of the servants answered,
I've seen a son of Jesse of Bethlehem who knows how to play the lyre. He is a brave man and a warrior. He speaks well and is a fine-looking man, and the Lord is with him.
Then Saul sent messengers to Jesse and said,
Send me your son David, who is with the sheep.
So Jesse took a donkey loaded with bread, a skin of wine, and a young goat, and sent them with his son David to Saul. David came to Saul and entered his service. Saul liked him very much, and David became one of his armor-bearers. Then Saul sent word to Jesse, saying,
Allow David to remain in my service, for I am pleased with him.
Whenever the Spirit from God came on Saul, David would take up his lyre and play. Then relief would come to Saul. He would feel better, and the evil spirit would leave him.
One moment. So now let me pull up chapter 17 and 18.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to listen to the whole story here. One moment. Chapter 17 and 18. One moment here. 1 Samuel 17 and 18. I believe this is on here. One moment, brothers and sisters. Here we go. Yep. Here we go. All right.
Now the Philistines gathered their forces for war and assembled at Socoh in Judah. They pitched camp at Ephes-Dammim between Socoh and Azekah. Saul and the Israelites assembled and camped in the valley of Elah and drew up their battle line to meet the Philistines. The Philistines occupied one hill and the Israelites another, with the valley between them. A champion named Goliath, who was from Gath, came out of the Philistine camp. His height was 6 cubits and a span. He had a bronze helmet on his head and wore a coat of scale armor of bronze, weighing 5,000 shekels. On his legs he wore bronze greaves, and a bronze javelin was slung on his back. His spear shaft was like a weaver's rod, and its iron point weighed 600 shekels. His shield bearer went ahead of him. Goliath stood and shouted to the ranks of Israel,
"Why did you come out and line up for battle? Am I not a Philistine? And are you not the servants of Saul? Choose a man and have him come down to me. If he's able to fight and kill me, we will become your subjects. But if I overcome him and kill him, you will become our subjects and serve us."
"Oh," then the Philistines said,
"This day I defy the armies of Israel. Give me a man and let us fight each other."
On hearing the Philistines' words, Saul and all the Israelites were dismayed and terrified. Now David was the son of an Ephrathite named Jesse, who was from Bethlehem in Judah. Jesse had 8 sons, and in Saul's time he was very old. Jesse's 3 oldest sons had followed Saul to the war. The firstborn was Eliab, the second Abinadab, and the third Shammah. David was the youngest. The 3 oldest followed Saul, but David went back and forth from Saul to tend his father's sheep at Bethlehem. For 40 days the Philistine came forward every morning and evening and took his stand. Now Jesse said to his son David,
"Take this ephah of roasted grain and these 10 loaves of bread for your brothers, and hurry to their camp. Take along these 10 cheeses to the commander of their unit. See how your brothers are, and bring back some assurance from them. They are with Saul and all the men of Israel in the valley of Elah, fighting against the Philistines."
Early in the morning, David left the flock in the care of a shepherd, loaded up and set out as Jesse had directed. He reached the camp as the army was going out to its battle positions, shouting the war cry. Israel and the Philistines were drawing up their lines facing each other. David left his things with the keeper of supplies, ran to the battle lines, and asked his brothers how they were. As he was talking with them, Goliath, the Philistine champion from Gath, stepped out from his lines and shouted his usual defiance. And David heard it. Whenever the Israelites saw the man, they all fled from him in great fear. Now the Israelites had been saying,
"Do you see how this man keeps coming out? He comes out to defy Israel. The king will give great wealth to the man who kills him. He will also give him his daughter in marriage and will exempt his family line from taxes in Israel."
David asked those standing near him,
"What will be done for the man who kills this Philistine and removes this disgrace from Israel?
Of the rejected
Who is this
one.
uncircumcised Philistine that he should defy the armies of the living God?"
They repeated to him what they had been saying and told him,
"This is what will be done for the man who kills him."
When Eliab, David's oldest brother, heard him speaking with the men, he burned with anger at him and asked,
"Why have you come down here? And with whom did you leave those few sheep in the wilderness? I know how conceited you are and how wicked your heart is. You came down only to watch the battle."
"Now what have I done?
said David.
Can I even speak?"
He then turned away to someone else and brought up the same matter, and the men answered him as before. What David said was overheard and reported to Saul, and Saul sent for him. David said to Saul,
"Let no one lose heart on account of this Philistine. Your servant will go and fight him."
Saul replied,
"You are not able to go out against this Philistine and fight him. You are little more than a boy, and he has been a warrior from his youth."
But David said to Saul,
"Your servant has been keeping his father's sheep. When a lion or a bear came and carried off a sheep from the flock, I went after it, struck it, and rescued the sheep from its mouth. When it turned on me, I seized it by its hair, struck it, and killed it. Your servant has killed both the lion and the bear. This uncircumcised Philistine will be like one of them, because he has defied the armies of the living God." The
Amen.
Lord who rescued me from the paw of the lion and the paw of the bear, who rescued me from the hand of this Philistine.
Saul said to David,
Go, and the Lord be with you.
Then Saul dressed David in his own tunic. He put a coat of armor on him and a bronze helmet on his head. David fastened on his sword over the tunic and tried walking around, because he was not used to them.
I cannot go in these,
He said to Saul,
because I am not used to them.
So he took them off. Then he took his staff in his hand, chose 5 smooth stones from the stream, put them in the pouch of his shepherd's bag, and with his sling in his hand, approached the Philistine. Meanwhile, the Philistine, with his shield bearer in front of him, kept coming closer to David. He looked David over and saw that he was little more than a boy, glowing with health and handsome, and he despised him. He said to David,
Am I a dog that you come at me with sticks?
And the Philistine cursed David by his gods.
Come here,
He said,
and I'll give your flesh to the birds and the wild animals. Ha!
Okay.
David said to the Philistine,
You come against me with sword and spear and javelin, but I come against you in the name of the Lord Almighty, the God of the armies of Israel, whom you have defied. This day the Lord will deliver you into my hands, and I'll strike you down and cut off your head. This very day I will give the carcasses of the Philistine army to the birds and the wild animals, and the whole world will know that there is a God in Israel. All those gathered here will know that it is not by sword or spear that the Lord saves, for the battle is the Lord's, and he will give all of you into our hands.
As the Philistine moved closer to attack him, David ran quickly
No
toward
fear.
the battle line to meet him.
No fear.
Reaching into his bag and taking out a stone, he slung it and struck the Philistine on the forehead. The stone sank into his forehead, and he fell face down on the ground. So David triumphed over the Philistine with a sling and a stone. Without a sword in his hand, he struck down the Philistine and killed him. David ran and stood over him. He took hold of the Philistine's sword and drew it from the sheath. After he killed him, he cut off his head with the sword. When the Philistines saw that their hero was dead, they turned and ran. Then the men of Israel and Judah surged forward with a shout and pursued the Philistines to the entrance of Gath and to the gates of Ekron. Their dead were strewn along the She'uraim road to Gath and Ekron. When the Israelites returned from chasing the Philistines, they plundered their camp. David took the Philistines' head and brought it to Jerusalem. He put the Philistines' weapons in his own tent. As Saul watched David going out to meet the Philistine, he said to Abner, commander of the army,
Abner, whose son is that young man?
Abner replied,
As surely as you live, your majesty, I don't know.
The king said,
Find out whose son this young man is.
As soon as David returned from killing the Philistine, Abner took him and brought him before Saul, with David still holding the Philistine's head.
Whose son are you, young man?
Saul asked him. David said,
I am the son of your servant, Jesse of Bethlehem.
After David had finished talking with Saul, Jonathan became one in spirit with David, and he loved him as himself. From that day, Saul kept David with him and did not let him return home to his family. And Jonathan made a covenant with David because he loved him as himself. Jonathan took off the robe he was wearing and gave it to David, along with his tunic and even his sword, his bow, and his belt. Whatever mission Saul sent him on, David was so successful that Saul gave him a high rank in the army. This pleased all the troops and Saul's officers as well. When the men were returning home after David had killed the Philistine, the women came out from all the towns of Israel to meet King Saul with singing and dancing, with joyful songs and with timbrels and lyres. As they danced, they sang,
Saul has slain his thousands,
And David his tens of thousands.
Saul was very angry. This refrain displeased him greatly.
They have credited David with tens of thousands,
he thought,
but me with only thousands. What more can he get but the kingdom
And from that time on, Saul kept a close eye on David. The next day, an evil spirit from God came forcefully on Saul. He was prophesying in his house while David was playing the lyre, as he usually did. Saul had a spear in his hand, and he hurled it, saying to himself,
"I'll pin David to the wall."
But David eluded him twice. Saul was afraid of David because the Lord was with David, but had departed from Saul. So he sent David away from him and gave him command over 1,000 men. And David led the troops in their campaigns. In everything he did, he had great success because the Lord was with him. When Saul saw how successful he was afraid of him. But all Israel and Judah loved David because he led them in their campaigns. Saul said to David,
"Here is my older daughter, Merab. I will give her to you in marriage. Only serve me bravely and fight the battles of the Lord."
For Saul said to himself,
"I will not raise a hand against him. Let the Philistines do that."
But David said to Saul,
Who am I and what is my family or my clan in Israel that I should become the king's son-in-law?
So when the time came for Merab, Saul's daughter, to be given to David, she was given in marriage to Adriel of Meholah. Now Saul's daughter Michal was in love with David, and when they told Saul about it, he was pleased.
"I will give her to him,"
he thought,
"so that she may be a snare to him, and so that the hand of the..."
You hear that question?
Mm-hmm.
David asked himself. Now, see, he was a young boy. He went through it, right?
Mm-hmm.
The stone, boom, boom. The boldness came, but that spirit of rejection was not dealt with.
Mm-hmm.
He asked himself that question, who am I? And what is my life or my father's family in Israel that I should be the son-in-law to the king?
Mm-hmm.
Still hearing those whispers. Where are we? We verse 20 still?
Mm-hmm.
All right, here we go. Listen up.
Philistines may be against him.
So Saul said to David,
"Now you have a second opportunity to become my son-in-law."
Then Saul ordered his attendants,
"Speak to David privately and say, 'Look, the king likes you, and his attendants all love you. Now become his son-in-law.'"
They repeated these words to David, but David said,
Do you think it is a small matter to become the king's son-in-law? I'm only a poor man and little known.
When Saul's servants told him what David had said, Saul replied,
"Say to David, the king wants no other price for the bride than 100 Philistine foreskins to take revenge on his enemies."
Saul's plan was to have David fall by the hands of the Philistines. When the attendants told David these things, he was pleased to become the king's son-in-law. So before the allotted time elapsed, David took his men with him and went out and killed 200 Philistines and brought back their foreskins. They counted out the full number to the king so that David might become the king's son-in-law. Then Saul gave him his daughter Michal in marriage. When Saul realized that the Lord was with David and that his daughter Michal loved David, Saul became still more afraid of him, and he remained his enemy the rest of his days. The Philistine commanders continued to go out to battle, and as often as they did, David met with more success than the rest of Saul's officers, and his name became well known.
All right. I know that was a long story.
Yeah, it was a long story. Very good story.
But guess what? We're not done. Let's listen to a little bit of 19. Now we're going to stop it at 3 minutes and 43. Come on, hang in there with us, brothers and sisters. As you can see, this is how it started off. Little man in his youth was rejected. But he stood up boldly to that spirit of rejection. And out of all those grown men out there, those soldiers and all of this, these warriors, this little bitty dude came through with 5 smooth stones and only had to sling 1. Then the older he got, the spirit of rejection tried him again. And he asked that question, who am I?
Who am I?
And what is my life or my family's father's family in Israel that I should be son-in-law to the king? Tried it again. So now let's finish it up. Let's see. He went from youth to warrior. Here comes the question again. Now let's see what happens in chapter 19. We're going to stop it short at 3:43. Here we go.
Saul told his son Jonathan and all the attendants to kill David. But Jonathan had taken a great liking to David and warned him.
My father Saul is looking for a chance to kill you. Be on your guard tomorrow morning. Go into hiding and stay there. I will go out and stand with my father in the field where you are. I'll speak to him about you and will tell you what I find out.
Jonathan spoke well of David to Saul, his father, and said to him,
Let not the king do wrong to his servant David. He has not wronged you, and what he has done has benefited you greatly. He took his life in his hands when he killed the Philistine. The Lord won a great victory for all Israel, and you saw it and were glad. Why then would you do wrong to an innocent man like David by killing him for no reason?
Saul listened to Jonathan and took this oath.
As surely as the Lord lives, David will not be put to death.
So Jonathan called David and told him the whole conversation. He brought him to Saul, and David was with Saul as before. Once more, war broke out, and David went out and fought the Philistines. He struck them with such force that they fled before him. But an evil spirit from the Lord came on Saul as he was sitting in his house with his spear in his hand. While David was playing the lyre, Saul tried to pin him to the wall with his spear, but David eluded him. As Saul drove the spear into the wall, that night David made good his escape. Saul sent men to David's house to watch it and to kill him in the morning. But Michal, David's wife, warned him.
If you don't run for your life tonight, tomorrow you'll be killed.
So Michal let David down through a window, and he fled and escaped. Then Michal took an idol and laid it on the bed, covering it with a garment and putting some goat's hair at the head. When Saul sent the men to capture David, Michal said,
He is ill.
Then Saul sent the men back to see David and told them,
Bring him up to me in his bed so that I may kill him.
But when the men entered, there was the idol in the bed, and at the head was some goat's hair. Saul said to Michal,
Why did you deceive me like this and send my enemy away so that he escaped?
Michal told him,
He said to me, Let me get away. Why should I kill you?
When David had fled and made his escape, he went to Samuel at Ramah and told him all that Saul had done to him. Then he and Samuel went to Naioth and stayed there. Word came to Saul.
David is in Naioth at Ramah.
So he sent men to capture him. But when they saw a group of prophets prophesying, with Samuel standing there as their leader, the Spirit of God came on Saul's men, and they also prophesied. Saul was told about it, and he sent more men, and they prophesied too. Saul sent men a third time, and they also prophesied. Finally, he himself left for Ramah and went to the great cistern at Secu. And he asked,
Where are Samuel and David?
Over in Naioth at Ramah.
They said. So Saul went to Naioth at Ramah, but the Spirit of God came even on him, and he walked along prophesying until he came to Naioth. He stripped off his garments, and he too prophesied in Samuel's presence. He lay naked all that day and all that night. This is why people say,
Is Saul also among the prophets?
Then David.
There. Now, that's the whole story. So, also, because Saul was rejected, the spirit of rejection, it turned into anger, bitterness, jealousy,
hatred, murder.
hatred, all of that.
Legions.
As you can see, the spirit of rejection is no joke. So here we go. When Samuel came to anoint a king, David was overlooked by his own father. Later, King Saul rejected and haunted him despite David's loyalty. David's psalm often reflects the emotional toll of rejection, yet he continually sought to refuge in Yahuwah. So now, I did this conversion thing of how tall this giant was. I was a little bit curious. to convert it to see how tall it was. One moment here. That giant.
That giant was tall.
Let's see here. Did I get it put up there? Let me share that. One moment, because I want you to see this here. Where are we? Convert. All right, now we all can see. So how many cubits? It was 6 cubits. And then how many feet? All right, so that giant, and they say these giants are still out there in some places. They found some in Kandahar. So 8.9, so he was about 9 feet tall. And David took that one smooth stone and took him down. Brothers and sisters, let's read this here. I just wanted to share that. I don't know why I pulled that up, but I wanted to share how tall that giant was. 6 cubits. It's right around 9 feet.
9 feet. Wow.
So, yeah, back to the commentary here. Let me share this a little bit with you, and then we're going to conclude, brothers and sisters. Here we go. All right. So we got another one. We got one more, if you're willing to hang around. Sister Nabia, I got to share this one. It's the story of Hagar, rejected by Sarah, and he was cast out. Remember, we talked about that. Abraham's handmaid, well, actually Sarah's handmaid. All right, let's check it. Genesis chapter 16. I know it's a lot, brothers and sisters, but hang in there. All right, so we got Genesis chapter 16, and then we're going to do Genesis chapter 21. So let's pull up Genesis 16 first. Let's pull up Genesis chapter 16.
Story of Hagar.
Yeah, hope you guys don't mind. Genesis chapter 16 is going to be right here. And we're going to stop it at 225. All right, Genesis chapter 16. Story of Hagar. Let me get there. Oh, I'm there. Here we go. All right, here we go, brothers and sisters. Let's get it. This is the last one. All right, listen up.
Now Sarai, Abram's wife, bare him no children, and she had an handmaid, an Egyptian, whose name was Hagar. And Sarai said unto Abram,
Behold now, the Lord hath restrained me from bearing. I pray thee, go in unto my maid. It may be that I may obtain children by her.
And Abram hearkened to the voice of Sarai. And Sarai, Abram's wife, took Hagar, her maid, the Egyptian, after Abram had dwelt 10 years in the land of Canaan, and gave her to her husband Abram to be his wife. And he went in unto Hagar, and she conceived. And when she saw that she had conceived, her mistress...
I got to stop that. No.
What?
Wait.
Well,
I don't care, Sister Nabia, but go ahead. You know, we can't have no more children.
well, go on and have a maid. It's okay. The help, the hired help.
Nope.
Go ahead, because we got to have this child now, because the Lord has told us that I'm going to have this child, but I'm getting old. And I go on here to give you permission, go on and sleep with my
Not
maid,
doing it.
the hired help, so we can, carry on the lineage.
Hey, I know, but that's all I got to say. Where we at? Let's continue, brothers and sisters. No, not me. Go ahead.
mistress was despised in her eyes. And Sarai said unto Abram,
My wrong be upon thee. I have given my maid into thy bosom, and when she saw that she had conceived, I was despised in her eyes. The Lord judge between me and thee.
But Abram said unto Sarai,
Behold, thy maid is in thy hand. Do to her as it pleaseth thee.
And when Sarai dealt hardly with her, she fled from her face. And the angel of the Lord found her by a fountain of water in the wilderness, by the fountain in the way to Shur. And he said,
Hagar, Sarai's maid, whence camest thou? And whither wilt thou go?
And she said,
I flee from the face of my mistress Sarai.
And the angel of the Lord said unto her,
Return to thy mistress, and submit thyself under her hands.
And the angel of the Lord said unto her,
I will multiply thy seed exceedingly, that it shall not be numbered for multitude.
And the angel of the Lord said unto her,
Behold, thou art with child, and shalt bear a son, and shalt call his name Ishmael, because the Lord hath heard thy affliction. And he will be a wild man, his hand will be against every man, and every man's hand against him. And he shall dwell in the presence of all his brethren.
And she called the name of the Lord that spake unto her.
Thou God seest me.
For she said,
Have I also here looked after him that seeth me?
Wherefore the well was called Beer-lahai-roi. Behold, it is between Kadesh and Bered. And Hagar bare Abram a son, and Abram called his son's name, which Hagar bare, Ishmael. And Abram was 86 years old when Hagar bare Ishmael to Abram.
All right. Either way it go, I don't think I could have did it, Sister Nabi. I just don't, because I know that here comes trouble. Anytime we do what we think is right, 100 times out of 100 is not. So now, this was Sarah's idea. Of course, Abram gonna go along with it. And he did. He didn't hesitate neither. He didn't say, "Are you sure, Sarah?" None of that. Okay, then. All right, we're gonna go on. Yep. It probably happened that same night. If Sarah probably couldn't even get it out of her mouth before it happened. But now Hagar, the spirit of rejection, hit automatically. Now Sarah is feeling jealous and hatred towards Hagar, just like Saul was towards David. Now, let's take a look a little bit more of the story. Let's go to Genesis chapter 21. We're going to fast forward it just a little bit. We're going to fast forward it just a little bit. Let's make sure that that's where we're going. So we're still doing it. Genesis chapter 21. One moment. Still a little bit more about Hagar. Genesis 21. Start at 303. Genesis chapter 21. All right, let me get there. 17, 18, 19. Almost done, brothers and sisters. Genesis chapter 21. Hagar continued.
Now the Lord was gracious to Sarah as he had said, and the Lord did for Sarah what he had promised. Sarah became pregnant and bore a son to Abraham in his old age, at the very time God had promised him. Abraham gave the name Isaac to the son Sarah bore him. When his son Isaac was 8 days old, Abraham circumcised him as God commanded him. Abraham was 100 years old when his son Isaac was born to him. Sarah said,
God has brought me laughter, and everyone who hears about this will laugh with me. Who would have said to Abraham that Sarah would nurse children?
This weird scissor replacing gadget is quickly becoming the most popular Christmas gift of 2025.
Yet I have borne him a son in his old age.
The child grew and was weaned, and on the day Isaac was weaned, Abraham held a great feast. But Sarah saw that the son whom Hagar the Egyptian had borne to Abraham was mocking, and she said to Abraham,
You get rid of that slave woman and her son.
See why you don't do it?
For that slave woman's son will never share in the inheritance with my son, Isaac.
The matter distressed Abraham greatly because it concerned his son. But God said to him,
Do not be so distressed about the boy and your servant. Listen to whatever Sarah tells you, because it is through Isaac that your offspring will be reckoned. I will make the son of the servant into a nation also, because he is your offspring.
Early the next morning, Abraham took some food and a skin of water and gave them to Hagar. He set them on her shoulders and then sent her off with the boy. She went on her way and wandered in the desert of Beersheba. When the water in the skin was gone, she put the boy under one of the bushes. Then she went off and sat down about a bow shot away. for she thought,
I cannot watch the boy die.
and as she sat there, she began to sob. God heard the boy crying, and the angel of God called to Hagar from heaven and said to her,
What is the matter, Hagar? Do not be afraid. God has heard the boy crying as he lies there. Lift the boy up and take him by the hand, for I will make him into a great nation.
Then God opened her eyes, and she saw a well of water. So she went and filled the skin with water and gave the boy a drink. God was with the boy as he grew up. He lived in the desert and became an archer. While he was living in the desert of Paran, his mother got a wife for him from Egypt. At that time, Abimelech and Phicol, the commander of his forces, said to Abraham,
God is with you in everything you do. Now swear to me here before God that you will not deal falsely with me or my children or my descendants. Show to me in the country where you now reside as a foreigner the same kindness I have shown to you.
Abraham said,
I swear it.
Then Abraham complained to Abimelech about a well of water that Abimelech's servants had seized. But Abimelech said,
I don't know who has done this. You did not tell me, and I heard about it only today.
So Abraham brought sheep and cattle and gave them to Abimelech, and the two men made a treaty. Abraham set apart 7 ewe lambs from the flock, and Abimelech asked Abraham,
What is the meaning of these 7 ewe lambs you have set apart by themselves?
He replied,
Accept these 7 lambs from my hand as a witness that I dug this well.
So that place was called Beersheba, because the two men swore an oath there. After the treaty had been made at Beersheba, Abimelech and Phicol, the commander of his forces, returned to the land of the Philistines. Abraham planted a tamarisk tree in Beersheba, and there he called on the name of the Lord, the eternal God. And Abraham stayed in the land of the Philistines for a long time.
All right. So I let it go a little bit further, which is okay, because Bible study is Bible study.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So as you can see, all right, whether you know it or not, Ishmael, that is the father of the Arab nation. All right. Remember, he said he was going to make your people good too, and there was going to be lots of them. Is that not true? Said he's going to be a wild man, a great archer. These are facts and not opinion. The Arab nation. So Hagar, through her womb, came Midian as well, through Ishmael.
Mm-hmm.
You see, through that spirit of rejection, she went to this place, to this well, and she sat over there. She left her son over there to die. And I think I got a description of that well. Let me see if I got a picture of it here. Let's see. Here it is, right here. And there it stands today. Right there. Now, see, can you imagine? Oh, my goodness.
Mm-mm-mm.
In distress, you're feeling rejected. You may be leaning up against this pole, getting a drink of water,
Mm-hmm.
and boom. All of a sudden, Yahuwah's voice meets you there. Or, I don't know, but can you imagine?
Right. Or water come from a rock.
You know what I mean?
Just
so
imagine things like that.
Yeah. So now listen up. Hagar, the Egyptian servant, was mistreated and eventually expelled with her son Ishmael. She experienced abandonment and isolation. There's that word again. Yet Yahuwah meets her in the wilderness, calling her by name and promising her a future for her son.
Mm-hmm.
In conclusion, brothers and sisters, I know it's a lot. Get your precept ready.
That's right.
Your truth for the day. You
Truth
ready?
for the day. I'm ready.
All right. We are all prone to disappointment and feelings of rejection. And that is especially true in the aftermath of a broken relationship. A lot of times that's how it happens. The spirit of rejection comes and it divides, it separates, it isolates. However, As born-again believers, we have a resource in Yah's word that can bring comfort and clarity to the situation. One person's rejection does not mean that we are unlovable. We can allow that one rejection to determine how we feel and allow that feeling to determine who we are, or we can choose to put that behind us and move forward on the basis of something that is far more lasting. Last bullet point. Walking by our feelings is like walking through the world with our hearts on our sleeve. We are bound to be hurt and are bound to be disappointed, for we live in a fallen world. What we choose to do with that hurt and disappointment will either allow us to grow stronger in our walk with Yahuwah, or it will mean that we are walking wounded. Take this in, brothers and sisters. Therefore, every believer should know, K-N-O-W, Yahuwah knows us and loves us. That means more than a devotional reading of Yah's word, but study that changes our perspective. 2 Timothy 3:16-17, and allows us to face life on with real understanding about the reality of walking by faith. Now let's go to 2 Timothy 3:16-17. Let's read.
Is that 2
Timothy
3? Okay, so it says all scripture is inspired by Yah.
Come on.
And is useful for teaching the truth, rebuking error, correcting faults, and giving instruction for right living, so that the person who serves Yah may be fully qualified, equipped to do every kind of good deed.
You see? So you got a choice. You can take this and make some of it, or you can accept this and it's going to drive you to destruction. You have a choice. Or you can meditate on 2 Timothy 3:16-17. Read again.
It says all scripture is inspired by Yah.
Come on.
And it's useful for teaching the truth.
Come on.
Rebuking error, correcting faults, and giving instructions for living for right living. So that the person who serves Yah may be fully qualified and equipped to do every kind of good deed.
There you go. Every kind.
Every kind.
So you got to be in the word. The word is going to equip you to how to deal with this spirit of rejection. Last bullet point. We are not defined by our past failures or by disappointments or by the rejection of others. We are defined as children of Yah, born again to the newness of life, and endowed with every spiritual blessing and accepted by Yahushua HaMashiach. Now, first thing I thought about was that song, Endow Me.
Endow me.
It'll bring tears to your eyes if you listen to it, because that's all you got to ask for. Listen, brothers and sisters, let me say this, and I'm going to pull this down. This concludes our Bible study. It's over 2 hours, but it's okay. So if you feel like that person has, or individuals has pushed you into that corner to where you feeling worthless, unloved, unwanted, you feel like you just don't measure up, I can't do it, I need this attention so that I can feel better about myself because myself don't feel better about myself, you're lacking the word. If you're feeling this way, that means your life is unbalanced. You need to put more word in it to balance it out. And for long, you're going to overflow, and this spirit of rejection has to go. Has to go. I know because I've been through it. I've had these feelings. Sometimes, hey, it may tap me on the shoulder and I have to shoo it away. I know my worth. Sister Nabia know her worth. We know what we're here to put to do, but now, that does not mean that you won't get an attack from time to time. The spirit of rejection is going to knock. It's going to try its thing through somebody else every time.
Every time.
So out of love, this is where this Bible study comes from, the heart. These 10 things, you go back in the Bible study, you read them, and you ask yourself, is that me? Has someone tried to use the spirit of rejection on me and manipulate me to bring me down to a low state, lower my self-esteem? I need to endow myself with the word. That concludes our Bible study today. Brothers and sisters, we're going to let Sister Nabia take it away from here.
Well, Father Yahuwah,
yes,
we thank you for your inspiring word through your Ruach HaKodesh that is delivered to the people, that they receive the word with gladness. It would pierce their hearts and their minds and their soul, so that they would be changed in a moment of a second, Father, when that day comes. And they would know the truth, so the truth would make them all free, Father. Father, we thank you that you're able to do exceedingly abundantly above all that we can ask or think. Father, we rebuke and we do not accept the spirit of rejection. No. Because we know that it does not come from you.
Yes.
We know that you are a loving God and that it is your good pleasure to bless thee, indeed enlarge our territory. It's your good pleasure. You want us to be blessed and not cursed. You want us to have. You want us to grow. You love us and you forgave us and you sent your son to rescue us, Father, so that we will know the truth and the truth would make us all free and that we would not have no spirit of fear. Yes. Because the spirit of fear is not from you. So, Father, Yahuwah, in the mighty name of Yahushua HaMashiach, I pray by the sound of my voice that this word goes forth and cause those that have been experiencing the spirit of rejection to be set free, because he who the Son sets free is free indeed. In Yahushua's name I pray. Amen.
All right, Amen. All right, brothers and sisters, break it up in parts. Please, I encourage you. But check this out. That spirit of rejection is the cause of a lot of things that's going on in your life. And first you have to identify it. Understand that this was the root of the problem and then act upon it. All right. We're going to see you next week. Next week, we're going to come with another word, with another Bible study. So until then, we say Tawada for tuning in and Shalom. Like and share. Yes. If you will, share this video. You just might be helping somebody. And those angels that has that ink on that in the book of remembrance, this will be wrote down under your name. That's right. Just might save your soul. The water for tuning in and Shalom.